It's a pleasure to have all of you here, and I have to say a very special welcome to all our visitors, but among all the special visitors, a particular welcome to Father Pat Burke on his first visit to our church here. Pat has just been appointed as priest assistant to Charlie at St. Mary's. So welcome, Pat, good fella. And as I say, welcome all of you. Aine has been a treasured member of our community for the last while, and we knew she was skilled and professional, but we had no idea how deeply and broadly skilled and professional she was until she came on board with us, as she will explain, for certain tasks on behalf of the restoration and conservation of this building. And until she produced these extraordinary boards down at the back, which I trust you will all have a thorough look at by and by. So, Aine, one of your dear colleagues here, Simon, one of your colleagues in all of this matter of architecture and beauty and the, I guess, the ennobling of life. Simon is going to come and introduce you and introduce the matter at greater detail. And he is ascending to great heights. He is ascending to great heights. And Simon, be warned, the oxygen is thin up there. And men have been known to speak nonsense from that height. So watch out.
Now that I'm middle-aged, the light is better. I'm not the new Puritan. But Val, thank you very much for your kind words. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for your presence this evening in supporting Holy Trinity Church. And this is 144th year in existence. With our modern eyes, we perceive a church like Holy Trinity of this age, with its level of embellishment, ornamentation and construction techniques, to be very old-fashioned, whereas in fact in 1872 in its completion, it was perceived as being a very modern structure, distinct in design and a significant break with church design of the past. Holy Trinity's architect, Thomas Newton Dean, was greatly influenced by the great John Ruskin when designing and constructing the renowned Museum of Natural History for the University of Oxford, not long before the construction of Westport's Holy Trinity. Ruskin's influence on the Oxford Museum of Natural History and on Holy Trinity through the design of Thomas Newton Dean makes this church probably one of the finest architectural expressions in Ireland of what has become to be known as the Ruskin Gothic. Tonight, to explain to us and take us on Holy Trinity's journey of time through its design, philosophy and construction, right up to its conservation works carried out in the present day, we are delighted to have Aine Doyle, who has been the Architectural Conservation Officer for Kilkenny County Council for the past 10 years, and prior to that she worked with Dublin City Council for 6 years. Aine is a graduate of UCD and holds a bachelor's degree in art history and Italian, and also 2 master's degrees in urban and building conservation and also history of art. And she was awarded a scholarship by the government of Italy to further her studies and residence in the city of Padua in Italy. Aine is currently conducting research to understand the construction of Holy Trinity, to assist the preparation of a conservation management plan, which in turn will inform the decisions to be made in relation to the conservation of the church over the next 5 years, and hopefully to secure its future for at least another 144 years. Earlier today, I was lucky to attend a guided walking tour of Holy Trinity by Aine, which was both absorbing and compelling. She is informed, learned and knowledgeable. Having sat in this church myself intermittently over the past 20 years and listened to pocketed talks on various aspects of the church's elements, Aine's earlier tour for me was a fascinating key that unlocked all of that pocketed information to a coherent, logical story from its beginning to the present day. I know you will enjoy sharing Aine's talents with her and her scholarship that she will convey to you this evening, which will enhance your understanding and increase your appreciation and enjoyment of Westport's Holy Trinity Church. Earlier today, during Aine's guided tour, David Power, who's the conservation architect on St. Mary's across the river, leant over to me and said, "She's very erudite, you know." And he said, "Indeed." David. So, without further ado, we give to you the very erudite Miss Aine Doyle. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Simon, for those kind words. I hope I can live up to them now. It's really a great pleasure for me to have you all here this evening, and I suppose to give you an idea of where all of this project came out of. It stemmed really from my realisation that the building was undergoing conservation works on a regular basis, piecemeal, some in 2014, some 2016, and I felt that there was a need for possibly a management plan that could serve the church well, and I was aware that the Heritage Council offered funding for such a plan, so I suggested to the church that they might be interested in having one done through the Heritage Council with their help. So the church was successful earlier this year in achieving, in being granted aid to carry out the Conservation Management Plan. And the Heritage Council are very interested in making sure that these plans don't gather dust on the shelf and nobody sees the information that's in them. So they ensure that all of this information is brought to the public, and this evening's lecture is one of those ways of bringing the information to the public and to public audience. The information panels at the back of the church, the exhibition is also part of that, engaging with the public, and I hope you enjoy reading them at some stage. You get a chance to have a look at them, even to look at the pictures and the illustrations, because the church is so beautiful. The illustrations are beautiful, they're beautiful to look at. So that's a little bit of a background to where this evening has come out of. I'm going to structure the talk in the same way that the panels are structured. So we're going to be looking at the broader context of the history surrounding the design for the church. We'll be looking at the historic context, the design philosophy, who the patrons were, and we'll also be looking then at the interior decoration of the church, then at the stained glass windows in detail, and finally I'll bring you through the conservation of the church up to today and what we hope to do in the next 5 years. With the help of everybody actually in terms of funding. So one of the things we hope to do is to generate funding through raised awareness of how significant the building is and how beautiful. Well, we already know it's beautiful. Anybody who attends church here will be fully aware of that, and it's an easy church to love, as Canon or Owen Hannay, one of the former rectors, is famous for saying.